Alright, y'all, we back with another one. This is by Top Trending. Fake homeless people caught on camera and exposed. We about to get right into it. Original video in the description. Like the video. You already know.
San Diego resident Melissa Smith told the local news that she'd seen the same pregnant woman with a small boy of about 5 in tow, panhandling at a local mall every weekend for a couple months. But one weekend, she got an unexpected shock when she spotted the down-on-her-luck mom, who would sometimes be joined by a man who is presumably the boy's father, climbing into a Mercedes-Benz luxury car and driving away. As luck would have it, Miss Smith happened to stop at the same gas station as the crooks on the way home. The man was with them, and as they left the gas station, Miss Smith followed, all the while snapping pictures of the couple, their car, and their license plate. The local news station traced the plate to an apartment in the area, but as may have been—
Wait, so is that really a crime? So they could go to jail?
expected, nobody answered the door, and a few days later the couple appeared to have split. But not long after the story broke, the couple were spotted again, this time with their newborn, asking for handouts in a different part of town. When confronted by reporters,
You gotta keep the hustle going, you know what I'm saying? You got to.
they feigned being bad at English and denied having a Mercedes before hurrying away in a black minivan. Apparently their scam worked well enough to rent an apartment and buy not one but 2 vehicles. But now that their cover had been blown, it's unlikely they'll be able to milk San Diego residents for any more of their hard-earned cash.
I mean, you got up, then you dip, you know what I'm saying?
Michael Dominguez of Richmond, Virginia was running
Virginia!
a similar con, and she may have been able to keep pulling it off for a little longer, or at least avoid a jail, if she weren't as foolish as she is crafty. Alert residents who had noticed her panhandling throughout the city confronted her in a video that quickly went viral as she was getting ready to take off in her shiny new Fiat, which she had left in a McDonald's parking lot during her begging excursion.
Bro.
She insisted that the whistleblowers leave her alone, dodging questions about her activities and her
He cut me off a little bit of that check, and then maybe I'll leave you alone, you feel me?
car before finally and lamely asserting that she has a disability, the nature of which she of course refused to disclose. After her sudden YouTube stardom, she inexplicably chose to go right back to the same routine, and the public was quick to call her out. In the middle of being caught on video,
I saw you! I know you!
yet again scamming the public, she began lobbing Gatorade bottles at a car, which was enough to earn her a well-deserved trip to jail. Ms. Dominguez will want to think twice before trying to run her con in Richmond again, but somehow it seems likely we
Virginia police don't play.
haven't seen the last of her. Gary Thompson was a regular on the streets of Lexington, Kentucky.
The Oscar winner, he must have been good.
And if you'd seen him, you probably would have reached for your wallet. The wheelchair-bound Thompson spoke with the childlike, halting cadence of the profoundly mentally disabled, and told the story about how a settlement that his mother had received for the motorcycle accident which had disabled them as a child, to the tune of $2.5 million, had long since dried up. That part was true.
You drive 2.2, I guess medical expenses and stuff, I don't know.
And
I get $2.2 million.
Gary indeed needs the wheelchair, but as a degree holder in speech and language pathology, the mental disability was just a manipulative, masterful piece of acting. Gary was busted by a local news crew speaking in his regular voice, but instead of being contrite or evasive, he boastfully admitted his scam and claimed to earn close to $100,000 per year perpetrating it. Predictably, the story went viral, and the intense public backlash was enough for Gary to change his tune. In a follow-up story a few weeks later, he claimed to have quit panhandling and begun seeking employment, and to be genuinely remorseful. But while feigning a mental disability may not have been enough for the police to get involved, the bad checks he had been passing along with the nearly $100,000 in fraudulent Social Security and Medicaid benefits he had obtained was. Gary is currently in the slammer, and he may be there for a while.
Yeah, he's not getting out for a minute.
In 2012, a New York City—
What am I looking at right now?
a TV news crew got a little curious about a woman they would see every day making her way up and down Fifth Avenue, which is populated by trendy upscale shops and the well-to-do shoppers who frequent them. Dressed in rags with her back bent at a terrible angle, she would hobble along on her crutches, shaking her cup and asking for donations, and she would get a lot of them. The news crew watched her day after day, scoring up to 50 donations per hour, and then hopping on a crosstown—
Dang, 50 per hour? Dang.
bus, getting into a black van, and emerging as a completely different woman. As you can see, she is neither dressed in rags nor having any difficulty with
She finessing! Dang, I know her back be hurting though.
walking. And once they compiled this smoking gun evidence, the woman was confronted while in costume by a reporter and cameraman. Refusing to break character, the woman hobbled away while the reporter implored her to give up the act, to no avail. The woman hasn't been identified, and chances are she's moved on to a less public scam in the years since. But if you're ever doing any shopping in the Big Apple, you might want to keep an eye out for this shameless phony.
Nah, she innovative.
In 2016, a beggar in the city of Altai in northwest China tried an unbelievably ridiculous method of feigning disability in order to gain sympathy. Video, which went viral throughout China, showed a suspicious passerby interrogating the man, who appeared to have lost his legs below the knee. But the passerby forcibly removed the man's pants, exposing his impressively contorted legs, which he had somehow folded into his underwear. But one could argue that any money he bilked out of the public was worth it for this sublime piece of comedy.
Y'all are wrong, bruh.
YouTuber Jack Vale, who runs a channel with his family, was alerted by his uncle to a homeless man who didn't appear to be exactly what he claimed. The uncle thought he had seen a regular panhandler in his neighborhood driving away in a nice new car, so he enlisted Jack to do a little investigative reporting, and it turned out that he had hit the nail right on the head. After surreptitiously taking video of the man holding a sign and taking donations, Jack and his makeshift crew followed him down an alleyway, where sure enough he climbed into a nice new Chevy and took off. The intrepid YouTubers then managed to follow him to a house in a nice neighborhood, where they confronted him about his day's activities. Predictably, the man was not happy that he'd been discovered, and became belligerent, before almost becoming physical. But he had been utterly
Bro, like, you think that got him this house in that car though? Like,
busted,
dang.
and it's doubtful he'll be running his racket in
got me second
Jack
guessing.
Vale's neighborhood again.
You know what I'm saying? It's interesting, you know. Be careful, you feel me? You know, think about what you're doing. You know, when you're driving around, when you see people. I ain't saying don't be nice, I ain't saying don't give, but you know, I'm just saying be careful. See you on the next one.